Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be talking about who is Julian, aka Juju Reese, from the University of Maryland, a center who's 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan. And he interests me because I got his tape when I was watching Garrett Queen, and he kept being on the floor with him. And then I got to see him in person this past week at Portsmouth for a couple days. Now, the 6'10", 240-pound big has a 7-foot wingspan and was a player for the Maryland Terrapins for a few seasons. This past year, he averaged 13 and 9 rebounds. Now, he had 1.5 assists while shooting 55% from the field as he scored those 13 points a night. He had a career-high 27 points and 17 rebounds against Illinois, who was 17th ranked at the time. And he's shown in the past that he shows up for those big games. And offensively, Julian Reese thrives in the paint. He's got this, simple but efficient game that he goes to when he gets into deep post position. He's a guy who he actually has a bag that I like. He has a hook shot that he can hit. And then he uses a quick drop step that catches defenders off guard. I think he's best in pick and rolls. He is such a good screener, because even though he's only 240 pounds, he's pretty wide. So you're either going to have to switch or go over or under him, which allows him to get ahead as he goes downhill to the rim and finishes with authority if given the opportunity. Plus, he shoots 74% from the free throw line. So maybe he could expand his range, which would allow him to go to the floor, especially if he can get some bit more out of his athleticism. And defensively, this is where you like him. He can guard 4s and 5s, and he might not be the fastest guy on the floor or the guy who's going to jump the highest, but he actually has a decent lateral quickness, and his hips are pretty fluid. I think he's a guy who's going to be able to be a drop coverage big or a weak side rim protector due to his ability to disrupt opponents' rhythms. And he's shown that he can switch on smaller players without compromising a team's defense. And the thing with him is he's a great rebounder. He grabs boards. He grabs offensive boards too. It's that motor on the glass is what makes me like him. 37 career double-doubles, high basketball IQ. And to elevate his jumper, I just think they just need to focus on him, stop taking those long twos, and just try to be more efficient. Maybe look at some of the things that a player like Evan Mobley did over the time of his career. So I think he's someone who has all the tools to go from being a two-way contract that then gets converted to a multi-year deal. And 5 years down the road, he went from someone who played mostly in the G the first 2 years of his career to then becoming a 15, 17-minute or 12-minute a night big for a team that has an established center. So I just think his basketball intelligence, the size, and just the consistency of a simple game that works and not trying to do too much is what you want out of a backup big.